So behind me here is my Caiman enclosure, but I'm in the middle of modifying it in such a way that I think is game changing. This is something I haven't seen done with Caiman enclosures, and it looks better, it's more natural, and it's just gonna be a better experience for both you and the Caiman. What I'm talking about, of course, is universal rock. So I'm gonna take everything out and we're going to replace this standard looking stuff and get a natural looking enclosure that's also enriching for my Caiman. So there's a couple schools of thought to think about as far as working in a Caiman enclosure, and I'm not gonna say that you should or shouldn't remove the animal, but keep in mind to not anthropomorphize the animal and know that it still is a wild reptile.
Come and get it!
I'm not gonna take her out just to keep stress down for her, and this enclosure is big enough to where I can work away from her without having to remove her.
We're not friends, I'm nervous.
If it's better for you, go ahead and take out the Caiman before you work on your enclosure. This is all based off of your animal, your comfort level. Just do it safely.
We pals.
So there are so many facts about universal rocks that legitimately get me excited. First of all, as you see, this is lightweight. It's not so heavy that I can't work with this. In fact, because I'm working with a round stock tank, if I wanted to, I could cut this to shape. But since it's going underwater and I really like the big pieces, I'm gonna avoid cutting it because I can still hide these edges here. And even though it's lightweight, it's still extremely durable. Caimans and turtles are notoriously destructive and messy. And that's what I'm really excited to demonstrate is that they're gonna bask on this, they're gonna poop on it, they're gonna make a mess and they're gonna try and tear it up, but this is gonna stand up to it. I know because I've used it for savanna monitors, bearded dragons, everything else. So the ultimate test really is the Caiman. So obviously as she moves around and we develop her habits, what she likes to hide behind, we're gonna change some stuff around, but this is gonna be the initial setup and then we'll kind of tweak it from there. It looks so good so far. There you go, Turtle. I might want to move that rock back because she will definitely try and push up and out on that big one. This is one of my favorite pieces. Turtles are gonna love this. She's gonna love this. It's just a piece of driftwood. The only question is, do we just put it in the water? Or do we angle it on something like the island? I don't know if you've been living under a rock lately, but UV bulb prices have been going up for quite some time. If you've been on the fence about switching to LED UVB, I think now is a better time than ever to get one of these Sur Sun bulbs. This lasts for 4 years for an LED UVB. Now I do have a code, I'll put a link down below if you want to check it out. It's gonna save you some money as is, but 4 years versus buying 5, 6 of these, the footprint's really small on it. So I added the water and then I realized that a couple more things float than I originally thought. So I rearranged a lot from when I had it down, but it's murky in here. I want to get kind of a look when it's clean water, so I'm gonna let this sit overnight and then I'm gonna take a look at things in the morning and see what I want to change. But I'm gonna get the pump on for overnight and we'll see how it looks. So it's been a couple days. You can tell because my beard is slightly long. You can tell, right? So I put this enclosure through its paces to check to see what damage the Caiman could do, were there any changes in activity, and was I putting too much in? And I shifted some things around throughout the couple days, and I finally got it where I like it. Under the rock there, we've got the ceramic heat emitter to heat the water. We've got the pump for the waterfall. And I put this blue polyfill here to catch the sand when you move stuff around when you first out of the enclosure. We get a lot of murky water with the sand. You're gonna see it get a little more murky as I move things around. Got my Ring camera, monitor things at night. Next to some rock. The turtles love this more than the Caiman does. He still climbs all over it, but that's the usual small turtle hangout. Got a turtle over there on that side hanging out. So temperature wise, we get up to 90s, high 80s there, and then we have 80-degree water. I really like this air pump here. As far as a filter goes, it wouldn't suffice. But when they move around and they kick up the sand, that's what I really use that for. It catches all the sand, and as you can see, it's full right now. I can just unplug it, squeeze it out, and plug it back in.
There's a nice mix here between both the rock and the water. And what's great about these islands is they serve as your caiman's hide. Caiman are nocturnal, usually pretty shy, so if you give them a place to hide, they like to do so. But what I've noticed in changes in activity is that the caiman is out more during the day now than before. So while he's still shy, he'll still move out and about throughout the day, as opposed to before when he would just only come out at night. Now I think this is for two reasons. One, he has more places to hide, he feels more comfortable, he feels more at home. And two, that VivTech UV light doesn't just last longer, it's a better light. You will see improvement in your animal's natural behavior if UV light's one of the things that you need for their enclosure. One of the other things I did was I added some of the Amazon cheap LED lights, and that's just because VivTech is a 4-watt bulb, and while it's great at putting out UV light, for the size of this enclosure, I wanted a little more visual light just for my own personal pleasure. This particular one has 5 different levels, which is great because I can set it at a level that's pleasing to me, but not something that I think would stress the animals out. Another thing to note is I also have turtles in this enclosure, which live plants are a no-go. I tried, I spent a lot of money on plants, which the turtles eat them all. But guys, that's gonna be it for me. This is actually the last time I'm filming in this setup because I'm moving, making big life changes, a lot of traveling, which is a lot of videos coming y'all's way. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that fun stuff down below. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see y'all next time.